Leo?
Okay, it is, I have 5:03, is that correct? 5:03, we'll call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum with 5 members present. We can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we can call roll.
Sandra Cavazos Ayala, absent. Mary Pais, absent. Robert Ortiz,
Present?
present. Maribel Valdez Rodriguez, absent. Angelica Salinas,
Present.
Rosa Maria Cidayano,
Present.
Edelvina Perez,
Present.
Esmeralda Rodriguez,
Present.
Rafael Romo, absent. We have a
Okay, thank you everybody for showing up today. Citizen comments, we don't have any at this time. So going over to the minutes. Reading and approval of the minutes from May 26, 2021. They're on the next page. I'll give you all some time to look at that. I would suggest the word "to" be placed it's on the second page under recent upcoming library programs. The word "to" after Mrs. Diana's name
okay.
to do a workshop.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Any other corrections or suggestions from anybody? One more time.
I have a question about the minutes.
Mhm.
It says here, items for next meeting, and our meeting was scheduled June 30th via WebEx. It was never via, we were supposed to be here person, wasn't it?
Where are you? Next
Items
meeting?
for next meeting, yes.
Okay, that was for, we hadn't, they haven't given us the direction of, to stop the hyper meeting.
So we can still, is, No.
At the moment,
At
I
the
think in
moment.
May, right,
Yeah.
it was gonna be
When we
virtual.
had the meeting in May.
Was weren't we here? No, it was, oh,
No,
okay.
we were continuing to do WebEx.
and
Yes,
it's
hybrid,
gonna be
yeah.
WebEx. Oh, okay, okay.
We had a scheduled meeting last month. but
Yes, I know,
didn't
but they
have-
didn't have a forum.
Yeah.
So before it was what, okay,
Yes.
my,
It's okay.
my confusion.
We're referring back to
Yes,
me.
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. And did somebody ask about if we could have a meet, I mean, so many committees, I don't know, excuse me. Did somebody ask if we could continue having hybrid meetings?
Yeah, I think it was brought up
Yes, here.
in the city council meeting on Monday,
And you
but
said-
I haven't gotten a response from
Okay.
city
From
secretary.
Melissa Cigarroa.
Yes.
And this-
From what I understood, because I was there, that it was not gonna be hybrid for the committee members. It was gonna be a virtual option for anyone who wanted to provide public
Okay.
comments.
Oh, okay.
But she is awaiting
But that was for
clarification.
city council or for all the
For city,
committees?
well, city council, was talking about it, but it was for all the committees, commissions,
Is that- I'm with
boards.
the Laredo Web,
Yeah.
I'm with the Web County Heritage, but I'm having a meeting tomorrow. And then, I'm sorry, I didn't know where I had read it.
But she
Yeah.
is, just to make sure, she's
I did
clarifying.
request
Okay,
what would
yes.
be
Hopefully, you know, it
The
will not
direction.
get, it seems like we were getting clear and then.
Yeah, we're on.
And so there's
Backwards.
another, council meeting this coming Monday, and so they're gonna discuss the changes
Yeah.
for that,
I mean, I was so happy we were the best, the most vaccinated and all that, and
And
then
then,
back to square, you know.
Yeah, are there any other recommendations or changes for the minutes? Anybody?
I move that the minutes be accepted
And I second.
with the correction.
With the correction.
Guys have it, so we'll go ahead and do that. We'll move on to the communications and announcements.
Okay, so, my name's Annalisa Perez Gomez, for the record, and I'm here in lieu of Ms. We do have the form ready to be signed for our and then combined the November and December meetings, for one in early December.
Yes.
Yes, good.
I'll submit it tomorrow.
Awesome,
That's-
thank you, wow.
I think we've
I like
always
that.
done it, no? We've
Yeah,
always
yeah,
done
we
it.
always, but we have to submit it in.
Okay.
Because of the beginning of the school year
Oh,
for the teachers.
I believe all of you were with the schools, okay?
Those are, yes.
All of us are retired school. So
Excuse me?
you're a retired educator, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because she was asking if we were all with the school district, because we guys,
Right.
all of us are with one or the other.
I'm retired.
Retired also, there you go, retired also, so there you go. Yes. Okay,
There you go.
well, this is good, I like this. All right, this is good.
Yes.
Okay. Any other communications and announcements?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll move on to the items for discussion and possible action. Are there any items for that, or?
No,
It doesn't appear there's any items.
Okay. On the staff reports then, the semi-annual committee report to the mayor and the city council.
Sure, I believe there's a copy of it.
yeah. You submitted it, the due date was July 15th, and she signed it in your behalf.
And there should be a copy of it in your packet, right? I think I
Yes.
saw it.
Yes, it's in there.
Okay.
It's the letter to,
Oh,
of the
yes.
city mayor and the city council. And the attendance, well, contact, for the committee members and their attendance.
Okay.
All right, library director's updates.
Okay, so all libraries are open to the public except Bruni,
Except Bruni.
except Bruni. We do have the gate counts from the June 21st, which is the day that we open to the public, to July 22nd. For the Joe A. Guerra Public Library, the gate count was 6,263.
Where are you?
Do they have a copy of it?
No, they don't.
They don't, okay.
Oh, no,
So I guess
sorry.
just for me just to report it. So Joey Guerra, had 6,263 once again, this is from the time period of June 21st to July 22nd, so more or less a month, right? For Moss, we have 3,132. For Faskin Branch, there was 788. And for Inner City Branch, it was 616. So we're definitely not back to the original, summer, summer attendance, but we did have people coming to use our
Did
services.
you have 6,000 from Joe Guevara? That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember.
Yeah, that'd be good to see like
Yeah.
what the drop off is, maybe an item for next time as far as to a comparison to pre-COVID to post-COVID numbers. Not over post-COVID yet, but,
Present.
But,
presently, yeah.
We
what's
have
going on.
6,000 and the boss 3,000, and the others didn't even get to 1,000. So I think the Guerra is doing well.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
Mhm.
I've been here several times.
And we just started, because I was handling the team programs virtually, we just started meeting in person. Last week we had one meeting, this week we're gonna have two. So very hesitantly, yes, they're coming back as well. The kids, they tell me they wanna. But we're
So
getting
is
there.
the count just to enter, not entering and exiting?
Right, so we always do that division, because it does count both ways, but then we always divide it by two. Mhm. Okay, and just to let you know that, we are open, but we are doing toy cleaning in the mornings and the afternoons at the locations that do have toys out. Definitely, I would say Moss and Maine fall into those categories. The hours, and the custodial staff cleans the high contact areas often throughout the day, bathrooms every hour. And I will say that's true of also the staff in their own area, making sure to clean and sanitize those areas.
Prior to use, they use hand sanitizers.
Yeah, we definitely made preparations for that, so we ordered a lot of them, we had them placed in those different areas, and I can say definitely, I've seen them at Moss right next to the lab, so I wanna say the same
Just
thing
the
was
same.
done. Yeah, anywhere we thought that people were gonna need it, we placed them there.
Okay. Like maybe even in front of the collections of books, just before you get a book,
Right.
hand sanitize. It wouldn't help, I'm not saying it's gonna prevent, but just to assist, because I don't know what our protocols are. I know they're trying to tell them like in our district with the librarian. You would know more than I would in that respect, but because that's something that's coming back.
Well, we do have some UV light mechanisms that we do put over the books. So that's another precaution that we take for that. We've been doing that since probably the start of COVID.
There, or do you set it aside for a certain amount of time so it could?
I will tell you honestly, at least at my location, we don't need to go that far because really the turnover rate is not that quick for us. So yes, every time they're turned in, we do that process. We put them up to go shelved, but we don't really have. Let you know that you do have the checklist, the monthly checklist for all the branches, and you may want to take a look at those now, which are the spreadsheets. So, in reviewing the Joey Guerra, the Moss, we have Basket in here and ICPs. I'll let you guys take some time to review those. And just let me know if you have any questions.
So that rock wall at Bruni Inner City Branch is going to be decommissioned, like it's just too much of a risk? Does that mean has it been removed, or is it still?
No, we're waiting for Public Works to see if they can assist us in getting a depth and trying to.
And where is it located, that, like, how are we ensuring that people don't try to climb it? 'Cause
No, it's closed, they have not scheduled any program, so it's locked, it's outside
Oh,
the
okay,
patio.
okay,
Yes, there's no access for patrons to go outside.
okay.
So the comment on the elevator, it works, but it still needs repairs.
Are you talking about the Moscow?
Uh,
McKendrick Hotel?
I believe so.
Or which one?
Yes, it's the
Yes.
one
Yes.
in
Okay, so, yeah, there are some things like, for example, a railing that's needed, but it's on the interior. It's not exposed to the public, so it's really for the technician, things like that. So the elevator itself is in working order.
Oh, okay.
That is scary.
That's
What exactly is wrong with it?
It works, but it needs repairs.
The
Yes.
cable's just like.
As a matter of fact, we just received the certificate of.
Oh, okay, so from the inspector.
Yeah, we passed, we passed.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it's the
Inspector.
operator.
Okay, that's a good,
It says
yes.
that it's working, but there's
Yeah,
repairs to be
yeah.
done.
Maybe
so I
it should
didn't
be, worded a different way, in good working order, needs repair, the rating or something,
Mhm, okay.
Or just put that it's
specific.
past inspection.
Past
That
inspection.
Yes.
it's past certified.
Yes, and it's
I
past
agree.
inspection, it's
It
in
says
working
that
order.
it passes
Safe.
inspection.
It's
Oh, it
in
does?
safe
It
working.
does, but
Okay.
it says that
You
it
know,
needs
maybe
repairs.
you're right.
That's what I was asking, what were the repairs, if it passed the
Or
inspection.
just saying, only some minor repairs.
Maybe cosmetic repairs, so that they understand that it's just,
It's not a-
it's not a technical thing, it's not a functioning, yeah, issue.
Yes, yes.
Any other questions or comments on any of the reports? from-
And then you said you still have those vacant positions?
So we did hold interviews for the full-time clerk position, and we made a recommendation. They said that they did notify the candidate, and we're just waiting on those final tasks, like the background check, and that's kind of those type of, the drug test, I believe. So, yes, I'm very
And
happy
the
about that.
part-time you're still pending?
Part-time has not been posted yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but it's not frozen.
I have heard that we're gonna be allowed to fill one part-time out of the 3.
That's great.
Good.
I see some were not funded, assistant library director and librarian.
So that would be on the Joe A. Guerra checklist?
Yeah.
Yes, those have not been funded for a few years.
Oh,
Okay, any other comments on the checklist? And if not, I'm also reporting that for VITA, there were 880 income tax returns prepared.
is this all for the whole library or just Joe Guerra?
Well, honestly, it was just Joe Guerra.
Oh, just, the Savita was
Yes.
just in Joe, yes, yes.
Okay. All right, so then, that was under what, library director's update? Was that under that?
Yes.
or- And recent and upcoming library programs and services?
Sure, so, you do have some flyers in your packet, so you can review those. And then there's also a note here that passport services will begin mid to late August, because staff needs to be recertified. They weren't allowed to, even try recertification while our locations were closed, so now they're in that process. Just let me know as you go through the flyers if you have any questions about any of the programs.
I have a question about the poetry slam. You're having one September 7th, and that's when my poetry workshop is also being held.
I wonder if it's gonna be combined or something. Can we
I
talk to
don't
Rick?
think so.
No?
No. Roxanne, who's in charge? Roxanne, can you ask her?
So the Poetry Slam workshops are team programs
Uh-huh.
through Rick Carrillo and Nikki Acosta?
No, they haven't said anything, and it's the same day, and we would be,
Let me talk to them.
yeah, or let me call Roxanne, because, I was going to invite you to that one, but I don't think it's here yet. They haven't done the, for
Uh-huh.
September, mine is in September, and it's going to be very good, and we're going to have refreshments, so we need to have the number of people that are coming, and, because it's
So-
the first personal, the
Right,
first
right,
in person.
one in person.
Yes,
And
and we're gonna
actually-
have even cake, because our main speaker will be, Poet Raquel Valles and Diaz,
Mhm.
and it's her birthday.
Oh, okay.
So we decided, I mean, she's 80 or 80 something,
Wow.
and it's gonna be nice. And I'm also inviting other people, but, so it's very important that it doesn't
Yeah,
interfere
no,
with
definitely,
ours,
and
because,
actually-
I mean, I would love to have them in mine, to come to mine. We're going to
Definitely.
write about La Frontera, living on the border.
So we have kind of like a ready-made audience, teen audience. And
Yeah,
then we just make
but I would
sure
love to come to,
that they know.
yes, and maybe, but I'm going to have another totally different, it's not slam.
Okay.
It's
Ms.
fine.
Ramos, what date is that in September?
It's September 7th.
Oh, the 7th.
Yes, and I was so happy, I'm so happy that they're having this. It's wonderful for what I'm doing, And, but September 7th is our big, we didn't have anything in July and August, but we're going. We're taking each other's audience, so no, I would love for them to come to mine.
Yes.
And talk to the people who are in charge. You said Nikki Acosta, the graphic designer?
Yes. And Rick Carrillo, and I'll make sure that they know of the conflict.
Yes, and Rick Carrillo is the one that takes the videotapes. So, yeah. I mean, for the poetry
They
stuff.
write poetry and they also recite poetry.
Yeah, but I mean, who's in charge? They are,
They are in charge, but I believe they do work with local organizations on that.
well, Borders, with
Probably.
Mando Lopez?
I believe so.
Yeah, because he's not the president, but that's a group, yeah. And Mando's always with me also, so it would be a.
No,
big
it's
conflict.
like you said, it's the same audience.
Yeah,
So
the
it
same
makes
audience,
sense.
because, and I'd love to have more teams, which I've had from schools. And, now that I'm talking, invite your teachers, I would love to get the name of some English teachers, Spanish teachers, so they can come. The arts are so important to our community, literature, arts, poetry, music, it's all combined, it's all the same. And I'm getting a lot of, young people in my workshop, so I would love to have them come to mine, but if they're going, I don't know what's the audience, because we're thinking 50 people, we have sandwiches, chips, and they get just like, except just water and tea. Because they doesn't want a lot of sugar. That's me, I'm old fashioned, anyway. But tell them, and tell Roxanne,
Yes.
because Roxanne knows the date. She's the one that, has ordered the cake and everything for Raquel Valle. We already have the program. It's 6 to 8 also, the same time.
And they don't do a little flyer for you?
They do every year, but every month, but this is for August. So mine is in September, so it's not there. They do beautiful flyers. Nikki Acosta is beautiful, it's a very good graphic designer.
Yes.
Sí, tengo unos.
For the AR, they only have it at the Moss location?
So far, this is a program that we're having at the Moss. At some of the other libraries, so we have to wait and see, because this is, I'll have to say even for Moss, we don't have all the flyers yet, because a lot of our programs are gonna begin in September. So probably in your next packet, you're gonna see a lot more flyers for the fall.
This is for the whole year. Yes. You're right.
The,
Yes, I
the
do.
movie days, are they still going on? They began on July 2nd. When do they end? In August or?
I normally, at my location, we just change the day or the time. Like, for example, if we're doing it in the daytime for the summer, we'll change it to right after school. So there are just some slight changes, but yes, we continue it.
Any questions, like,
What is the question?
you don't
I'm
have
sorry.
them, because of what's going on, gloves, everything going on?
We have, yeah, we've always taken our food handler certification,
Okay.
so we've always done that.
All right.
What, excuse me, I was showing my, what were you asking?
Well, there was two, one was about the AR nights, Mr. Levine said that, it's asked if it was only offered at Moss, and I think the answer was at this time, yes. And then I asked about the movie day, if it's still going on, and how do they handle with the distribution of any kind of food items like popcorn here, because I see some popcorn.
Okay.
She said they do have their food handler certification, so, all safety, I guess, protocols are observed.
Definitely.
Health and, safety. Okay.
That's why we want our sandwiches wrapped, and
Yes.
I see yours are wrapped. Yes, I think, yes.
They're not individual.
Not individual, no.
But there's some
There's
Toms.
a Toms,
Yeah, it's got.
and
You got
napkins.
Tom's back there.
And there's
so-
sanitizer.
Yeah, but we're all adults for mine, they have to be wrapped, you know, because,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
yeah, because of the cold, I mean, we have to be very careful. We can't go back.
Any other questions or observations from any of the upcoming events and programs? Has the attendance been, I guess, like it's fallen off, I'm sure? from what
Right,
you're-
so,
Right.
for the ones that I do know about, like, I know that the story time is pretty well attended, but they have enough room here at this location to have the social distancing. For the teen programs, like I said, we've just started to kind of do in-person stuff, and I have noticed it's not, definitely nothing compared to pre-COVID numbers. So I typically have maybe 20 to 30 kids sign in through Zoom. And like today we had a party and we had 14. So it was a pizza party. Normally that attracts, 40 to 50 kids at least.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, I would say that parents are hesitant to let their kids come in
And
person.
what was the pizza party for?
Just the end of the summer
Oh.
program, since
Oh.
we do it June and July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is our final week.
So it's
Yeah.
Yes, like I said, I've been very, it was been nice to see so many young people
Yes.
in the library.
And you can tell they really do hunger for that interaction. We're in a strange time where we want to see each other again, but we also have to be careful and be
Yeah.
cautious. So I understand that. And we talk a lot with the parents as well, about their own concerns, so.
Just out of curiosity, like what you just described, about, there is a want and a need to be around people, especially the teens, and is there something that whoever, I don't know who the leader is or who organizes it, like, because we've had a lot of training now on the new part of our curriculum that's being offered, or that's being mandated, not offered, mandated in all schools across Texas, public schools, for social, emotional learning, wellness, because we're getting out of this now, and some kids have struggled, obviously,
Yeah.
with this, very much so. Is there something is that a topic of discussion at these, like when the teens get together, or?
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's formally introduced, but we've been talking about it throughout, and it's interesting that you mentioned that, because especially with the book clubs, it gives them an opportunity to talk about those issues, those concerns, with their peers. So I will say, like, for example, like there's pizza and pages tonight here at the main library. And they come and they read a book and they eat pizza, pizza all day, right? But, sometimes when you are talking around a subject, it's much easier than going straight at it. So I will say in my own experience, they were very open and very honest about what they were going through. And I thought it's kind of bittersweet to be able to be with them online and to interact with them. And especially sometimes I know the teachers were so busy and there maybe wasn't a moment for them to specifically, personally talk to them about those issues. So in these smaller groups, like, they were able to do that. And it and went a long way, I think, for their psychological well-being and my own as well.
Right.
Because it was wonderful to be able to be there for them and to give them that opportunity.
I'm thinking, and that's interesting you say that for adults as well, because yes, it's kind of difficult. But maybe in our through all the libraries and branches, maybe, I know you all sometimes feature books, like maybe books on wellness and well-being,
Right,
you know, out there in the front and center. It's like, hey, if you want to read something, here it is.
Yes.
Doesn't cost you anything. Get a library card. You want to read up on how to, you know, techniques, strategies to just start feeling better about
Yes.
life, even though we're under this cloud of
Yes.
uncertainty.
Uh-huh.
You know, I would think that'd be something to promote as a public library, to have it in all the branches available.
Right.
Pull off those books off the shelves, dust them off, sanitize them, say, look, we have this if it's an interesting read, because it's timely. It's very timely.
Very
Just
timely.
just as an idea. I don't know what the committee thinks.
Yes, Bob,
Yeah.
I'm so much. A lot of committees, Border Region Health, you know, it used to be mental health and MHMR, and we are trying to help the community. And one of the problems is that it's, you know, mental health is like a stigma, and nobody wants to talk about it. It's like, no, I can do it by myself, you know, I'm a macho man, or I'm a strong woman, and I don't need anything, and it's not true. We all need, especially at this time. And I was going to mention Simone Biles, or what is her name?
Yes,
That
the
just-
next she got.
And for mental health reasons, I think she just did us a great favor to everybody, because she acknowledges that is so important, just as important as a health, as if she had done something to her, you know, knee or whatever. It's just as important. Or, you know, if you're not healthy in your mind, it's mente sana, corporo sano, como va lo que dicen los griegos, you know?
Yeah, so I'm just
Yeah.
thinking it by way of, you know, offering something as a, I mean, we don't offer counseling and stuff, but their books are there. You need a self-help book
Yeah.
or something like that, that it'd be available, and you don't have to go looking through
And-
the Dewey Decimal System to get it.
Yes.
It's just right there. There's
Right.
a
And I think
collection.
And I think I'm gonna mention it to my border region, because we're always looking of ways to help
Mhm.
the community, and that would be, you know, to send them to the library, to check out books
Yeah.
on,
Right,
you
exactly.
know, on
Right.
depression. There's a lot of depression. There's a lot of suicide tendencies.
Yeah, it's
You know,
gone
that's why
up,
the
it's gone up
pillar-
for kids and teens in general
Yes,
during this
yes,
time.
yes.
It has risen.
Yeah,
It's a reality.
It's a reality of that
A
we are
somber
living.
reality.
You know, and especially this time, so I think it's been very hard for all of us, for all our families.
We do have a volunteer who, a teen volunteer, who wants to create a program where we invite, you know, psychologists, social workers, different representatives from different organizations, so that teens can talk to them.
That's wonderful.
So it does take a little while to work with a teen
Yeah, but
volunteer to
Yeah, but
create
that's what we're doing right now at the
Yeah.
Border Region. We are having speakers in October,
Mhm.
you know, and I'll be glad to give you names
Oh, thank you.
of people.
Yes.
You know, we've had it, not last October because of the pandemic, but before, and I was in charge. People are telling you, there's a lot, professors in the, you know, psychology department, they would
Yes.
be happy. I mean, right off, Dr. Heredia, Dr. Salinas, right off. And then from Border Region, there's several, Selena Villarreal, also another Miss Salinas that's married to Dr. Salinas, one in Border Region, one in TAMU, just right there for. And then SCAN, Stop Child Abuse and Neglect, that's another help.
Those students at the university, if they're going to major in psychology.
Also, but-
This would be a great time
Right,
to
for them,
practice it.
yes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of what I'm trying to, a lot of resources that we can invite, you know, from our own. And of course, the students, they're always looking for, how do I get points or whatever hours or whatever, time service or whatever they call them. I have been out from school. But yes, I think we need that, and that's why we're here for, to help the community, to help our children and our adults. We need help too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, lonely seniors. I haven't seen my kids in like a year and a half. They're all out of that.
Yeah.
Yes. so it's hard, it's been, challenging times, to say the least. Yeah, so.
So maybe
I'll
just
be
that,
happy to help you.
something like that, you know,
Get
to
people,
help.
yes.
Yeah, and,
Something.
Even if it's just a platform where they can share,
Yeah, right.
their experiences as they've been going through this, because sometimes they just need that, that outlet.
yes.
Well, any other comments or anything on any questions on any of the events? Any of the members? Okay, then we'll move on to, the monthly statistics.
Okay, and they're there for your review in the packet, as we indicated, and here, maybe you do have that percent change that you had wanted to see there. This is in circulation,
A lot of minuses. Yeah.
yes.
Month of June, but is it month of June, the minus is compared to, or change to what,
From the
from 1 month?
previous
From
year.
the previous year or the month only?
That's a good question.
I think it's the.
I think it's the month.
Change from the
Yeah, I
month.
think it's the month. Or is it the total?
Change, they would be good to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ms. Solis,
Current
main
month.
adult fiction.
The web page hits have gone up 223%.
Well, of
That makes
course.
sense.
Because-
E-collections,
Yeah, because that's all they
212%.
could do. Well,
E-magazines, 2,998%.
If you have not tried them, it's now in overdrive. They're so much easier to use and they have so many titles.
Really?
Yes, it's a great resource.
We'll see, because we were all inside cooped up working.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
and they
right.
couldn't come. And of course, 0-0, because they were closed. I know that. I know that, but it's.
I just think that kind of data right there needs to be shared, I guess, with our city council, just so like, look, our
Oh.
public libraries, even though you may not
Right.
see physical people coming in, but
They're
they're
doing-
they're
yes.
getting the resource.
Right.
That the resource is there, thereby, we still need the any kind of financial
Right.
resources for the libraries to support them, because look, the traffic's there. It's not pedestrian traffic, it's electronic, it's a digital footprint.
It-
And I think they need to see that.
Right. I found what is the change from year.
It's a year.
The change was a year, and of course you can understand because of the pandemic and the libraries being closed. Is minus 52, adult nonfiction minus 72, of course. But like Bob said, and I agree with you, I mean, we're still very active in the electronics. And what would they do without those electronics, The e-magazines, I think I'm gonna come, what is the service that you help people and, I think I'm gonna come so they can show me the
Yes,
e-magazines.
yes.
Because our librarians here, they know, but old Billy here, folks, no.
So we've added
What was
278% increase in titles that have been added, electronics titles. Is that, but when you say titles added, is that just magazines, is that books, is that just across the board, everything lumped together?
And where are you looking at? On which page?
I guess it's the last page, I think it's the last page. Under processing?
Okay, so I believe titles added are the ones that we've actually purchased. For the magazines, I believe because, at least with this new service, it's more considered a database because we don't select the magazines. It's kind of like a package deal.
Right.
Yeah. So these titles added electronic are, I believe, are all books.
Just books.
But we'll get a clarification for you on that.
And when you add titles to books, do you add like books off the bestsellers lists?
Yes.
Or I was curious.
Yes, so we do a combination of things, but of course those lists are great. Yeah, Amazon lists, New York Times bestsellers,
Of course.
award winners,
Yes.
patron request for sure. So yeah, it comes from everything, and we have a very strong collection.
Do you receive a lot of patron requests?
I personally do, yes.
Really?
Yeah, I
Really?
do.
Patron requests?
Well, because I spend a lot of time talking to the patrons and with, like, I have several book clubs. So they come to me with all of their requests, and I tell them, and as soon as somebody asks me, how do I use Overdrive or how do I use Hoopla, I say, you need anything that's not in there, you tell me. And with electronic titles, we can get them like this.
Wow.
For a print book, a physical copy, it can take a while. The whole purchasing process
Yeah,
takes
right.
a while. But for an electronic book, tell me what you want to read. I'll
Oh,
get
wow.
it in
So-
there.
And most of the books are in electronic?
Well, I wouldn't say most of them are. I would say the newer ones, yes,
The
yes.
newer ones?
Yeah, and there's always going to be issues that you have to look for. You know, it depends on the publisher, it depends on the title, it
But
depends
you're
on
talking about books or magazines?
books.
Okay.
Books.
Okay.
So,
It's
like-
good to know, I didn't
Yes.
know.
Yeah, and so sometimes there are
Somebody, yeah.
there are some times where they'll say, can you please get it in this format? And I might have to say, well, no, it's really the publisher.
Yes,
I can't
uh-huh.
decide that. We try, honestly, when we buy it electronically, it already comes in what formats it's available in. So when I say that, I mean like, can I read it on a Kindle, as an EPUB, as all these different things, right? And so it's basically, most of them, you can read them on any device. But
Wow.
there are a few where it's like the publisher didn't allow
Yeah,
the
a
Kindle format or whatever,
yes,
yeah.
yes. But see, all this is new to me.
Pain.
Yeah.
So I can imagine the public, I mean, and I'm a reader, you know,
Yes.
but I have books, the old
No, and you know,
But I didn't know about this.
no, and I was so, like, I was all about, I'm a huge reader as well.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I'm all about the physical book, but then when it became apparent to me, like, you know, I can hold thousands of books on my Kindle,
Right,
yay.
right.
I can get it like this, I can get it so beautifully over COVID.
Mhm.
And I also see that the kids, it's amazing, the teens are all about the physical books. Anyone over 40, they want the electronic format.
What? I thought it would be the other way around.
And it's because I think it's easier to read, it's easier on the eyes.
Yeah, well,
You can make the font, you know, this big. So I always
That's
give
true.
them,
oh, really?
yes,
I
I,
still like my physical book.
no, I understand. But and you know what, we had a vendor kind of confirm that too. Like, no, it's the ones over 40 that
Really?
really
That
like
want
the
that?
electronic format.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's news to me.
Yeah.
Because
So, you know, we're all about making, being able to offer those choices,
Uh-huh.
right? So hopefully, yes, we have a copy in print, in physical format, and then also digital.
wow, this is wonderful.
Yes.
And I'm looking here that your story hours attendance, actually they doubled during the pandemic.
Well, and that is because of the virtual nature was that it was like a show. Right.
So it was virtual, it was in person, because you have story hours attendance, 219. So total 4,000 this year and only 2,000 last year.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that right now, story hours attendance, okay, yes. So
So it
this might be because it's counted differently. When it was virtual, it didn't count as a story hour, it counted as a stream show, I believe.
but-
And so that's why there's a little bit of a difference in there. We may have had it as many story hours, but because it didn't have that interactive quality, we couldn't count it as a story hour.
Mhm.
So we got lots of guidance from our Texas State Library on how to count things. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it had to be live, like in-person, interactive, in order for it to be counted as a story hour.
But
Yeah.
it's still 2020 and 2021 were higher than 2019. So it's here in story hours attendance. So to me, that's a surprise. It was 111% higher.
Can you explain
Yeah.
on the last page, under processing and above that, you have new acquisitions? I'm just trying to understand. You have e-collection under new acquisitions at a minus 100%. Yet on titles added electronic, I guess it's plus 278%. I'm just trying to process what.
Can you repeat your question?
Yes, in comparing e-collection under new acquisitions, it's at a minus 100%. If you look on the last page.
Oh, okay, yes,
And
new
then you
acquisitions.
compare that, and I may be a wrong comparison on my part, I don't know, but I'm not understanding. Under titles added electronic, it's like plus 278%.
Uh-huh.
So I'm, in my mind, and I could be wrong, those numbers should jive, but it's saying the opposite. Is it, I don't understand, what is a new acquisition under e-collection mean?
Under processing, you're looking at titles added,
Uh-huh,
because that's
Right.
print.
that's print.
So the other.
Well, it
one
says
is-
electronic.
Yeah, I understand your question now.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Do you
okay,
know
you're,
the difference between
I'm looking at
collection
the
and
first one,
titles?
where it says titles added, but it says print, okay, I see the electronic one.
Right, so it says electronic, so I'm, and it may be a wrong assumption on my part,
Mhm.
but I'm assuming it's the same thing.
The bottom one is processing.
And the other one's acquisition. Oh, you know what it might be? E-collection might be electronic resources
The fees.
It's-
that you, okay, electronic resources like a video game.
Okay.
That you
okay.
actually take, it's a physical, still a physical.
Okay,
Yeah, like audiobooks that you actually physically take home would
Uh-huh.
fall under that category. I wanna say that's what that means, but we'll check again on
okay,
that.
maybe for next meeting, that's.
Yes.
Processing would be what, like you are putting in the labels and.
Yes, but that would be
Yes.
anything added, so
Uh-huh.
anything new typically would be under there. So I'm trying to make a guess at e-collection, and I think that's what it means, it's the. Through, I physically take home this audiobook or this video game, it's considered an electronic resource, but it's not truly the one from our like Overdrive, who
Yeah.
all those resources.
Okay.
But we'll go, that's the only thing that makes sense to me,
Okay.
but we'll clarify for you for the next meeting.
And I see you've got more volunteers, because it's 14% plus under total
Where are the
volunteer hours.
So a lot of them were teen volunteers, we gave them community service hours for participation.
Oh, okay,
And we had very high participation.
okay. All right, I mean, that's all I know. So does anybody else have anything, to ask or require on their statistical reports?
And I hope that I clarified also the story hour attendance, but, you know, that's something else
See,
that we can.
it doesn't, you know, I can't
Yeah.
understand it. But it's good, I mean, I'm glad that it's better.
Mhm.
All I'm saying is better than it, but I was surprised that it was better during the pandemic that, and it's, you know, it doesn't say that it's electronic, so you know, it's
Yeah,
kind of.
and it was, I will say that was probably the most confusing thing is how to
Yeah.
report things to the state library and how to
Yeah.
follow the definitions.
It might also be that some of our elementary kids that had devices,
Mhm.
maybe were able to get on and form, prior to that, because they didn't have devices at home, they would not. you know,
Right,
It would
right.
just be, it would be their siblings, their younger siblings coming in.
Oh,
So maybe more devices were locked on.
There were more devices.
More
Every
devices,
student.
but it doesn't say, you know, that it's electronic, it's just, that was my question.
Yeah.
That it was per story hours and then story hours attendance. So I don't know, just something to think about. I mean, I'm just so happy that it
Right.
increased. I'm not asking, I'm asking just that I don't understand. it.
Yeah.
Story
And I
hour
have
was
a clarification.
Excuse me?
The story hour was virtual.
During the closure, we had both Zoom story hours, which were very small, and then we had the one that streamed. And so from what I understand is that if it's streamed, you couldn't even, and this, we have to get clarification on this, but I do understand that, so like, it's considered a view in Facebook, for example, if it starts to play. Does that make sense? And then we later changed it so that you had to be in a closed group. It's kind of complicated. So it changes, all of those little things, it changes the way we can report it in our stats to the state library. So there's a lot of little nuances there.
Yeah.
But the Zoom part itself did not go well.
No, it went great, but they didn't want to make these huge Zoom groups. They wanted to
Right.
make it very personal. So we had the Storytime Live through Facebook and YouTube for a while. Anybody could log on, and they tried to make it as interactive as possible to say, you know, hello to people who were watching live. But the Zoom was really where it was a smaller group, and we didn't have as many numbers, but it's because they wanted that interaction with the kids, right? Where they could actually join in and we could talk about the story, you know? It was a totally different type of program than the streaming program. They were trying to touch all bases.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, then we'll move on to, Library Advisory Committee member absences. Bless you.
Bless you.
I have absent, Ms. Ayala, Sandra Cruz Ayala, Nelly Baez, Maribel Valdez Rodriguez, and Mr. Rafael Gomez.
Any items for next meeting?
So in my notes, I do have, Ms. Solis offered 2 dates, September 22nd or 29th, but Ms. Solis might be out on the 29th. So it's up to you, whatever works best for you.
That's cool.
I'm sure a lot. The 22nd is not the last Wednesday, the 29th is, but you heard Mrs. Solis won't be available. Would you guys wanna, are you already willing to, 22nd?
I don't think I have anything as of now.
Whatever.
That's right.
Okay, then 22nd?
22nd, great.
The 22nd, which is on a Tuesday, a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Wednesday. And I guess items, clarification on that, maybe progress on any kind of the self-help books at every branch and main library, of course, displayed or something, just as an offering to everybody who.
Mental wellness.
Right, just mental wellness, just because we know
Yeah.
it's a huge
mental
deal
wellness.
going on right now, as obviously
Right.
this is, yeah, pointed out about, Biles yesterday
Yeah.
in the Olympics, so it's obviously. Any questions or anything?
In my notes, I have that you want a comparison of the gate counts from this summer, right now.
Right.
Compared to pre-COVID,
Correct.
which is what, 2018? 2019?
19.
2019. 2019.
Okay. Anything else for next meeting? German, any motions for German?
No, oh, but I would like to invite you to the September 7th, because we're not gonna meet before, and it's about the border, living on the border. Reflections of life on the border.
Alrighty.
With September 7th. And tell them,
September 7th.
yeah, that's a very good one.
I'm actually gonna walk over right now.
Yeah, and
talk to them.
tell Roxanne Garza,
Yes.
because she knows about my program, and Nikki will do the flyer. And
Okay.
then, hopefully she'll say, oh, what?
Yeah.
But because we need to know also the number, and, yeah, and we already have invited guests. I'm trying to invite Norma Yacantu also. And it's gonna be hybrid for us, because we did make them hybrid before. We have people from other cities that actually have been present, from Austin, from Brown Rock, or Georgetown, I don't know where. Had a student from California, and people from Dallas watching us, so we wanna keep it hybrid because of that.
Absolutely. No
Yeah.
problem.
What was the theme again? I'm sorry.
It's reflections of life on the border. Yes, and I'm gonna start with a poem by Ansaldúa, Gloria Ansaldúa. To live on the border means, and that's gonna be my prompt. And probably I'll tell them, I'm learning as I go along, and I always give them the prompt there, but I have been starting giving them the prompt before, so they could write something, and then what I'd like to do is for them to listen to some of the poems that have been written, by the poet Ansaldúa, Raquel Valle, our poet,
Yeah.
extraordinaire from Laredo. And, so she'll be my name. She has fabulous poems, so about the border. And
Alrighty.
so
On
you're all
September
invited.
7th.
September 7th, 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
Más o menos the same.
It's the same hours.
That's why we can't compete
Right.
for the audience, Let's get together and let's have
Yes.
fun. Yeah. And they can slam, you know.
Right.
They can slam. I don't slam, I mean, it seems to me like that's such a young, you know, sport.
Any motions for adjournment?
I still move, let's do that.
Adjourn. We have a motion? Second? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you.
Stop the meeting.
We stop the meeting.
It was great seeing you, and I'm happy to